Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to Date the Right One. I am Cece Shatz, the Doyenne of Relationship Building. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, which is our radio station. And we want to welcome you to newsstreamingnetwork.com, where home of going bold and going solo. And so we want you to join us right there on that network. All of our wonderful shows and hosts are there, so I hope that you'll check it out. Well, tonight I'm doing a solo act, and I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. The show topic tonight is going to be dating transitions. This is something that I have been thinking about for quite some time, something that I wanted to discuss with all of you because I think it's very, very important. You know, as we move through relationship loss and we're thinking about possibly dating, we're not knowing exactly where to begin or how to begin or should we begin, right? And so I want to help you with that because a lot of people don't cover that transition period that we do. Sometimes we second guess ourselves as we start to begin dating. And so we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to cover an article today that I read in Psychology Today. You just go to psychologytoday.com. Susan Diggs White, PhD. She's with Lifetime Connection. She wrote this particular article. And so we're going to talk about some of the items that are within that article because I think they're definitely worth sharing with you all as we move through this very, very important topic. So, you know, as we're coming out of relationship loss, we're trying to decide, okay, am I ready to start dating? Is this truly what I want to do? You know, we're starting to put away kind of those broken pieces of our lives and we're starting to think to ourselves, we want to rebuild, right? We want to rebuild this new life for ourselves. And you know what's so wonderful about that is we can design the life that we want, right? And so as we're moving forward and we're starting to think about dating, let's start throwing out some of the traditional things that we used to think about. Now, I think our core values are important. I think we have to be steadstrong with what we believe in. But the reality is we cannot date today as we did yesterday. I mean, online dating is so prevalent. Everything is going on. Things are happening differently. And so we can design the kind of life that we want as we go forward. So what I mean by that is as you begin to start dating, you want to start thinking about the life that you want when you do find that partner. Do you want to be married again? Do you want to be just in a committed type of relationship? Do you want to live separately? Do you want to live together? You know, how do you want to handle your finances? How do you want to handle those kind of things? You have to have straight up talks with your potential partner as you move forward in those things. But let's not get ahead of the game because first we got to get out there and we got to start dating. So let's talk a little bit about that, you know, as we're re-entering the dating pool. Now, I will say, as we get a little bit older, and I know all of you know that I'm on the mature side of this, our dating pool starts shrinking a little bit. You know, those are that are still married, thank God they are still married. We want them to stay married, but it is starting to shrink up. Those that we love are, you know, passing on or whatever. And I don't want to be dreary about it, but we don't look like we did, right, when we were younger. So with saying that, we have to appreciate where we at, right? And we have to appreciate those that are around us. So we have to have some grace as we're starting to date. We have to start thinking about those that we're dating, that they don't look like they did when they were in their 20s, right? And so we have to give them grace as we move forward in the dating arena, right? But our pool is kind of shrinking up. So a lot of people are starting to think, I don't think I want to go this route anymore. And that's a shame because I do think that their life would be brighter if they had someone to share it with. So that brings me to the point of how do you really feel about dating? Do you really feel that you're ready about dating? Can you put, you know, aside your previous partner, right? Whether you were married or whether you were dating or whatever it was, the one that you felt was your end all. Can you put that individual, you know, in the back seat, so to speak? Can you move forward? And are you ready to start dating someone new, right? Someone that could be totally different than who you were with before. And those are the things you want to think about. And then you want, of course, you know, we've got lots of dating sites and dating shows. And let me tell you, we do have a great dating show. I want to share that with you. It's called Let's Talk Dating with Christine Baumgartner and Barry Selby. They are dating professionals. They're experts in dating. And so they're on Thursdays at 4 p.m. and they really cover so many elements with regards to dating. So if you are in that arena of dating, I would suggest that you definitely tune in on their shows. You can find them on our YouTube channel. You can find them on our website. They're all over the place. So make sure that you do check into that. But let's get back to what I'm talking about tonight. And I'm going to start asking ourselves some questions, right? And I love this article because you can look it up and reread it if you want, because she covers a lot of areas in it. But one question she asked, she said, you might want to ask yourself is, how does my body physically feel when I think about saying yes to a date with a particular new person? So what she means by that is like, do you start, does your stomach start rolling? Do you start thinking about your previous partner? Are you starting to get upset about, possibly getting out there and doing it? Now, I'm not saying we're all going to have the little bit of, nerves as we start dating. Believe me, I felt that too, and you're, all kind of jittery and you're not quite sure what you're going to say and what you're going to do and what that partner looks like for real if you met them online. But what I'm saying is that if you are really, really starting to feel down about it, then maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe you need to think about that a little bit more as you start to go through. Butterflies, a little bit of butterflies is okay, but if it starts making you feel sick or whatever, you haven't yet healed from that relationship. And so then you have to start asking yourself important questions, what you can do to try to help yourself be able to get through that a little bit more. And there's plenty of things within our site that can help you with that. So we want you to understand that. The other thing is, can I spend time with the date and not feel like I'm comparing them to the other person? That is a really hard thing to do, because especially when you are widowed or someone, the widowers have a tremendous hard time with this because they have lost someone that they love, right? They weren't prepared to lose that person. When we have a breakup, sometimes we're not prepared to lose them either. But when we break up, when we go through a divorce and things like that, some of the negative stuff starts popping up. So it's a little bit easier for us to start saying, I don't want another guy like that, right? But when you're widowed, it is hard for us to say, gosh, I really did love that person and all the wonderful things they did. And so you have to start telling yourself, can you put those feelings a little bit in the back seat? Can you shove those down a little bit? Can you start to, revitalize yourself to be able to move forward into a relationship with someone else and give that person really their just due, right? Letting them know that, you're open to a new relationship. Your heart is open to feeling something with someone else. And that's not easy. I've struggled with it myself. So I know how difficult that can be. So we have to ask ourselves, and we have to take little steps as we continue to go through. But a lot of times, if you meet someone, you share with them how you're feeling, that person will take it slow. They'll take it easy. You don't have to go jumpstart, it's not like you're, in a Ferrari and you have to jump in and go 100 miles an hour as you're dating. You can take it slowly as you start dating. And if you meet someone, you can start sharing with them your feelings and how you're feeling. And if they care about you, they will back it up a little bit. They'll, stop the train here and there, and they will give you time to catch up with them, right? And that is the thing about dating, is that it's not like you jump in and it's all, bells and whistles and everything's terrific, because I don't think that's real life. That's a Hallmark movie. And even Hallmark movies, they have bumps in the road, right? But the thing is really in dating, there's it's kind of like a dance, right? You're moving and you're swaying, and sometimes you step on the toes a little bit and you do things like that. It doesn't necessarily mean it may not work. It just means that sometimes you have to take a little slower as you get going. So you want to think about that. Are you really truly ready to put your relationship of the past in the past? Are you really ready to open yourself up to new experience and someone totally different that could be totally, totally different than the person that you were with before? which can be very exciting. So, you want to think about that. Now, let's move on to the next one. Am I able to objectively look at my past relationship and take responsibility for the part I played in the demise? Oh, you've heard me say this 1,000,001 times. You will not completely heal from your breakup if you do not take responsibility of the part you played in it. I was no saint. I was not perfect in my relationships, and I understand that. And I start to see now some of the areas that I could have probably done better, right? And that's what I want to take to my new relationship. I want to take the knowing that I might have messed up along the way, but I can do better this time, right? And I want to take the essence of what was good and also build on that, right? I want to build on that essence of what was good into the next relationship. So let me go back here and make sure if you guys have a comment or something like that that you want to share with us, please feel free to go ahead and do that. And we can definitely post those up. Any questions that you might have, we would love to be able to answer those for you. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is ask yourself the reasons why you're thinking about dating again. We don't often think about that, do we? We don't sit here and think about why are we wanting to date? Why is it that we want to date? You know, for me, and I will share with you, for me, as I, truly would like to have a partner in life, right? A partner in crime. I'd like to be able to share experiences with and be able to laugh and do things with. Now, there could be 101 reasons why you want to. So you want to know why you're going out and why you're starting to date again. And then she goes on to say, am I going out with this person because I actually like them, enjoy spending time with them? Or am I just going out to maybe make someone jealous? And then I will add on top of that, am I going out because I'm lonely, right? And if you're going out simply because you're lonely, you're not in the right headspace. Now, let's face it, a lot of singles, we are lonely. We are lonely, and that's okay to be lonely. It's okay to share that, yeah, hey, we don't like spending time by ourselves all the time. I started a travel group because I didn't want to travel by myself, right? That's okay that you feel that way. But the reality is, if you're just trying to spend time with somebody simply because you just don't have anything better to do, that's really not the right reason. Because what's going to happen is you're going to meet somebody and you're probably going to break their heart because you're not at the same headspace that they're in, right? So when we go out and we start dating, both men and women, both of us, we have to start knowing what it is that we want. We want to start envisioning, right, the type of person that we want to have in our lives. And we need to know the kind of person we are, right? So, when we fill out those profiles on the online dating, they're there for a reason. They're there to make you think about what are your core values? What is important to you? What are you looking for, right? And will you know it when you find it? That's the reality. A lot of times we go and you've heard of the serial dater where they go and they date here and there and they're dating all the time. Well, the reality is they don't really know what they want, or they're afraid, right? They're actually afraid of the individuals that they meet. And so they get and I get it. I totally get that. They get into a relationship and then they go, oh my gosh, the first relationship I was in after my divorce, the gentleman was very, very serious about me. And I've told the story many times, bought a ring and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, it totally freaked me out. And we broke up. And it's a shame because I think had he been in the same headspace or understood where I was, he would have just backed it up a bit. And maybe who knows what would have been different today. But the reality is I was not ready. I was out there dating because my ex had moved on with the relationship, you know, before the I don't know, before the candle was burned out or whatever you would say. But I thought, well, shoot, he's doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get out there too. I'm going to move on with my life. Well, the reality is I had to take a big, huge step back, and I had to realize that I wasn't ready to date. And that is okay. Where you're at today is okay. It's okay where you're at today. Where the problem lies is if we don't understand where we're at, right? We don't understand what we want in our lives. And so we want to think about that as we move forward. So then we're going to go on to, okay, am I just trying to fill the void? right? Am I just trying to fill the void in my life? And you're not being fair again to someone else if you're just trying to fill the void for yourself, because you're being selfish. You're being self-centered, and you're not thinking about the other person, right, as you're moving forward, because that's something we miss out, something we don't think about as we're moving forward into a relationship with someone. We meet someone, we go out with them, we have a great time, but do we think about their feelings? Many of us don't. Many of us don't think about that, right? Because each time we meet someone, we're connecting, right? We're having this connection with that individual. And, sometimes maybe they're not the right person for us, and we can just share that and be adult about it and just say, okay, this isn't working for me. Sometimes we get into a relationship and, we think it's going to be working out, and we're not sure about where it's going to go. And so we have to be honest, not only with ourselves, but with that person as we continue to move forward. But if we're just trying to fill a void, then we need to come up with a hobby to be able to do that. I think that would be better versus anything else. Am I going out because I need validation from someone that I'm still attractive or likable or sexy or desired? We do wonder that, don't we? Especially when we come out of some sort of relationship loss, or if it's been a long time that we haven't dated, we wonder, are we desirable? Are we attractive enough? Our bodies changed, our faces shifted, and we're getting older by the second. And we tend to wonder, is someone going to find me attractive? Are they really going to find me attractive as to the way I am right now? But the reality is you want someone that finds you attractive just the way you are right now. You want someone that skips a beat, when they meet you or when they see you, right? You want that feeling of, that sense of wanting somebody to want to be with you, right? And if they don't have that and they don't feel that, then it's really not the right thing for you. But you don't want to play games, and you see that all the time, right? On online dating, you see profiles that say, no game players. I don't want to play games. I don't want to that. And you're thinking, when I see it, I think, oh, how negative are you, right? You're so negative. You're putting out this what you want, but then you're being all negative. But the reality is they've been hurt. They've been hurt by individuals that didn't really know what they wanted, and so they've been kind of strung along and not knowing what it is that they want, and sometimes unfairly, right? And we can get into relationships like that as we make that transition. We can get into a relationship that we think the other party is wonderful, but we're not sure if it's something that's long term for us. And that's okay. It's all right to feel that way, but you just have to be able to share that with the other person, and so that you can work through that together, right? And maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need a dating coach like Christine or Barry or someone else. There's lots of different coaches around. Maybe you need someone to kind of talk with and share those things with, and understand that, we need a little help sometimes along the way. So that's okay to do that. That's okay to understand that that's what you need to do. So the next, that's all she landed. That's all she did. Whoa, wow, that's a lot to think about, but it's not enough to get us through, is it? It's not enough to get us through dating. So we want to make sure that you all understand that the transition that we make as we move forward in dating takes a while. It takes a time in which to be able to go through, and you have to kind of mull through it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a quick break. And so again, I'm Cece Shatz. I'm the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I am actually a divorce, dating, and a life coach. But I want to be able to help you here on tonight's show, which is called Date the Right One. And we're on the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, the new streaming network. And check that out. We've got all those shows that we were talking about before. And check those out, all those wonderful hosts and zillions of shows that we have there, talking about all the different situations that you experience as you're single, walking through your new single life. So we're going to take a 30-second break. So just stay with me. Welcome back to Date the Right One on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. That's our radio station. And we're on the newstreamingnetwork.com. I want to thank all of those out there that are watching us on Roku. We want to tell you how much we love you, because last year we closed out at 6 million, and it just made my heart, it's sore. I can't tell you how appreciative we are of you guys watching us. So we want to thank you so much for that. You can go, if you haven't watched us on Roku, it's available for you. You can go to the New Streaming TV app. That's our app, New Streaming TV, and that's where we have all of our internet TV. We are a internet TV and a podcast station along with our radio station. So we try to cover everything for you as much as we possibly can. So tonight, what we're talking about dating transitions. And the first part of the show, I talked about this great article that was on Psychology Today. And it was, so look it up if you want. And I think it was a very good article. And we talked about moving forward as moving forward from, or maybe a relationship loss, or, a loss of someone, and then deciding, we're thinking about now starting to date. And that transition part is so valuable. It's so very important to us. And we so often want to just go so quickly into that. We want to steam ahead into that. But the reality is we really do need to slow it down. We need to understand where we are, who we are, what we want, and what we're looking for, right, in a potential partner. And then again, after that, we need to know what type of relationship is it that we're looking for. Because in today's world, we can have any kind of relationship, especially us mature daters, right? We can develop a type of relationship that we want. We're not going to have children. We maybe don't necessarily want to get married again, right? Maybe we want to keep things a little bit more separate. Maybe we want to live separately. So you got to know what it is that you want, and how you can make that work for you. But as we're moving through, and we were talking about that article, and we were talking about basically putting your partner, your ex-partner, whatever, in the back seat, keeping them in the past. They always say in the rearview mirror. But as we're moving forward, but as we're making this transition into our new life, we want to start exploring new experiences, right? And I'm not saying getting kinky and doing anything weird. I'm not saying that. So those of you out there listening, just whoa, settle down. But what I'm saying is the experiences that we want is like different things that we start to realize as we're moving forward into being single, what makes us happy, right? Some of those joys in life, some hobbies that we might pick up, whether it be, bungee diving, or whether it be boating, or, maybe bowling, or various different hobbies like that. So they're interests that we have. And so we start to develop interests to keep ourselves busy, right? Keep ourselves entertained and keep ourselves going in life, right? Fulfilled and going. And so that, when we talked about the other part about filling that void, right? That's what we want to fill our void with. We want to fill it with interests that we have, things that make us happy. I know several people that go bicycling, right? Every day they go out and they go bicycle, and some go walking, some do various different things like that. So you want to have some interests that fill that void for you, so that you can start doing things that make you happy. The reality is, when you are happy, it raises your vibrations. When you know who you are and what you want in life, it raises your vibrations. When you understand who it is that you're looking for, that plateau, it raises your vibrations. So then you will attract those into your life that you want. And one of the things too that you can do, and I know my girlfriend, we talked about this just the other night. We talked about making a vision board. Years ago, I made a vision board, and I will tell you that everything that I put on the vision board came true, right? I wanted a more serene life, right? Because I went through a horrible divorce. I wanted a more serene life. So I had like two chairs sitting on the beach looking out over the serene water. And I put two chairs because I wanted a partner in my life. I wanted to begin dating and start meeting someone. So I did meet someone. And unfortunately, those things happen. But the reality is you have to start envisioning what you want, manifesting what it is that you want. We hear that word all the time, manifesting, right? So create a vision board of what it is that you want. Create a vision board of what what you think your partners maybe should look like or be like, right? Or things that you want to do and share with your partner, right? Start those kind of things. I have been told that if you keep a drawer empty in your house, right? Just one drawer empty in your house, that you say that is for your potential partner. That's their drawer. That's what they're going to be able to do. You move your clothes over and you create a spot, a spot in the closet for them. If you do that, then what happens is it also opens the door. It opens the space, right? That you want someone else into your life. So begin that when you're doing the transition. So, there's a lot of little tips that you can do as you're moving forward in your life, but you want to take the transition time very seriously and very slowly because you want to go in baby steps. You want to do the steps in which that you feel comfortable with. I am going to be starting to do probably some coaching platforms for that. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that. Maybe have some guests and things like that we can talk a little bit more about that. So I'll look out for that. So if I start posting, we hope that maybe you'll join us online, that we can share some of those things. And the thing is everything that I do, I want it to be interactive with you. I want it to be a point where you start sharing what it is, because what happens is the more interactive you are, the more you participate in your own life, the more you'll get out of it, right? Because so often we think to ourselves, we're going to sit on the sofa, we're going to stay at home, and love's going to find us. It's going to come. It's going to be there. It's going to, when I go to the grocery store, it's going to be there. But the reality is your vibration is so low that it's not going to be there. And so you have to do various things to get your mindset put into the arena of dating. So that is truly what I want to be able to share with you. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed this show tonight. I want to keep it very brief, but I do want you to be able to join me back here on Date the Right One. And we hope that you can take away some of this information that will help you. So I am Cece Shatz. I'm the Doyenne of Relationship Building. And if you have any questions or anything, all you have to do is email me at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. All of our shows can be found right there on newstreamingnetwork.com. We hope that you'll check it out. That's home of the Going Bold and the Going Solo, and then WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. They are our call letters for our radio station, and that's an internet radio station. So we hope that you'll enjoy that. Just know that wherever you are today is not where you're going to be tomorrow. And so we want to just keep continuing growing, moving forward, embracing our lives and enjoying our lives as much as we can. I know that a partner will come into your life if you keep your vibration high, if you know what you want, if you can be kind and caring and gracious to the partners that are coming forward to date. And if you can really home in on what it is that you want for your life as you're going forward, and just be honest with yourself and be honest with those around and be open to discussions. And that's truly what I think what will help you as you move forward in your life. So I want to thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.